this is day 2 of repairing the upper and lower control arms of the Drift Miata. I will give you a quick look here. This is what the old bent up lower control arms look like. That is not good. And this is what they're supposed to look like. Nice and straight, no twist. No twist in this inside portion, and there's no kink this way like that one. Which maybe there's not as much of a kink out here as I thought. It's all just right here that twisted everything in that way. I also got some new PowerFlex street bushings to go into the lower and upper control arms and get it all situated and set up to where I can get it in the car hopefully pretty quick here and start trying to get it aligned. I have marks on the eccentric bolts and all that, so hopefully it goes together and I can get it really close to what I had it, because it was set up really good. So we'll get into it really quick here. I'm not going to give like a full tutorial or DIY on how to install the bushings. I'll maybe just run through like one set, and I will link the video to my full bushing install video at the end of the video. So one of the bad things, besides running into a wall and wrecking some of your control arms and making expensive purchases to repair everything, when you buy aftermarket parts, you do have to buy things in pairs. So be ready for that if you do end up wrecking something on your car. So it's not just one part here. I had to buy the set, so it's driver side and passenger side upper control arm. Along with the lower control arms, there is a driver side and passenger side as well. Along with all the bushings, you have to buy everything as basically a full set, so be prepared for that. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to do like a full walkthrough, but I'll at least get like one of these put in here, or maybe both of them, just for the one upper control arm here, so you can get a little bit of an idea of how you're supposed to install these. So what you do, you have your bushing, you have your part, and then you have the assembly lube that comes with the bushings. These are PowerFlex bushings, got them through Drift HQ, along with the Destroy or Die upper and lower control arms through Drift HQ. It is not sponsored, but maybe in the future. You're going to put a generous amount of the assembly lube onto the bushing and spread it around. Now I put enough on this one for both. Then you're going to put a little bit on the inside of the bushing, not a lot, because you're going to have some that goes on the collars or the shaft of the bushing. Like I had said before, I'm going to try and make this pretty snappy. It's a Tuesday afternoon and I have an event in 3 days, so I have to be ready to go. I'll lube up these cylinders here that go inside. The bolt slides through these pins, and these pins go inside of the poly bushings. Alright, now that we have this spread around on here, we're going to just slide it through from the outside to the inside, just like that. And then you're going to push the collar or the pin through the same direction. Can be kind of tough. And we're not going all the way through, just about, because this little bushing is going to sit on the outside. And we're going to do the same thing with the other side. The poly bushing goes in pretty easy. It's when you have to put the collar in that it gets pretty hard. Alright, and there you have it. now that I got all the bushings in here, I'm gonna start swapping over a couple of the things that I need to do before putting it into the car. Which I need to change the camber adjustment on the top of the upper control arm and slide this upper ball joint in a little bit to camber my tire in for proper steering angle and tire plant with my lead front tire. Now I went ahead and I switched over the lower ball joint, and that's bolted into the lower control arm. So the lower control arm is all set, ready to go in the car. What I'm gonna do here, I'm going to set the old control arm next to the new one. I'm just going to take a couple of measurements. So from the inside of this oval here, inside of the oval right here, to the inside of the ball joint here, I'm going to take a measurement and transfer it over to the new one. Now the upper control arm is also set to where we need it. There's still a cover over the ball joint, which is no big deal, so you don't tear the boot. But yeah, there is the upper and lower control arms ready to go in the car. Okay, now we have readjusted to do the lower control arm. I did a quick test fit just to make sure the tabs still aligned and everything, and it wasn't all weird from the other one being twisted. We're gonna throw this in from the bottom here. And it is a nice snug fit. There we go. Need my Z-blow here. Now we'll get the eccentric bolts in here so this doesn't fall down. Perfect. All right. The next step here is going to be getting the knuckle right here back up onto the lower and upper ball joint, and then reattach the tie rod, and last but not least, the sway bar end link right in here. All right, so we're going to start to tackle the super knuckle right here. Might be a little tricky, it's kind of awkward to balance. but especially with the brake caliper still on it. It's really tight behind these super knuckles. I think I mentioned that when I took these off. That's the only thing that's kind of not so great about them. They're really tight. Okay, that's in there enough for me right now. There's the upper. Turn this way so you can kind of see it. Get her nice and tight in there. So barely got to the locking portion of that nut. Don't know if I like that. But I don't have anything to hold it from turning right now. So maybe I'll get the tie rod end on there in just a minute and then try and snug that down a little more. But for right now, we'll get the lower tightened. Cotter pin back in. Flip that up. Quick camera adjust over to the tie rod end side. Kind of slide this down here, pop it in the hind joint, and slide it out. And there it's on. Without the nut, obviously you gotta put that on. You should technically torque this down, but it's got a locking nylon locking nut, excuse me. And I've already tightened it down by hand once. I think that will about do it for getting everything tightened down and back in here. Now what I need to do is put the key in the ignition and turn it side to side and make sure there's no binding issues or there's no other issues that I don't know about. So yeah, we'll do that real quick. Oh, that's right. I did. Oh man, I forgot. I have to bevel the lower control arm to match the other one. I didn't do that. Shucks. Well, good thing I tested. So I have to go up inside here and put a 45 on this slant. Shucks. Basically from here to there, I need to put a 45. So now I gotta take this back off, which that's okay, and then grind that real quick, because we want everything to be situated and finalized. Other than that, nothing else really seems like it binds funny. It's almost like I hear something funny from up there. Well, I'm going to take this nut off, I'm going to grind that real quick, and we'll throw it back on there. But I need to lock the steering wheel to do that. Whoa! Almost fell over. Alright, gotta put that up out of the way. I'll grab the grinder real quick. Alright, that should be good. Should be plenty. If it's not, well, that's where it's going to limit, right? We'll get this back on here. Tighten down and try and get this thing set on the floor and throw the toe plates on it and see how close it is. Okay. Alright, I had to switch to the phone to finish out this video real quick. So if you can look at this here a little bit, this side is towed in just a hair, and this side is where it was before along the body line. So I am about, I'd say 3/8 toe in on this side, like this side only, which means that either my Ackerman setting and adjustment is off by just a hair, which I was kind of questioning that down on the inside and the back anyways. So I might have to adjust that a little bit and pull the back in, or maybe push the front out with the Ackerman adjustments there. The tie rod in the front is bent just ever so slightly, so that could be pulling the front in as well. So I'll maybe have to use the other points of adjustment to kind of counter that, because I don't want to go out any farther on the threads. I'll end up causing more damage than there already is. But maybe I'll take it on around the parking lot real quick and just see how it feels. But for now, we're gonna end it. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.